8 games of the season, the Nets were 30th, 3-0, dead last in defense. And frankly, that wasn't a stunner because they were horrible defensively last year. Last 4 games, Jacque Vaughn's really coached for 5, but he took over middle of the day. He didn't get to run a practice or anything before that. Last 4 games, which also coincides with the Kyrie suspension, number one defense in the league over the last 4 games. Now, we're talking about a miniature sample size, but when you look at what Jacque Vaughn has done to locker room, when you look at how, I mean, I was seeing guys smiling last night. You know, they haven't played the hardest schedule, this little stretch here without Kyrie, but they've played dramatically better. They played dramatically better defensively in this stretch. They seem to be a little bit refreshed. They've gotten their three-point shooters back. We saw Seth Curry absolutely destroy the Knicks from three-point range last night, which is exactly why they wanted him in the James Harden trade. They've gotten a little bit more whole, and they've sort of made over their mentality. Now, I don't know if it'll last, but the reality is this. Ime Udoka essentially has what in the NBA you would, or the NCAA would be like a show cause penalty. Any team that would hire Ime Udoka imports all of the potential issues with Ime Udoka to now becomes your problem. You can hire a coach in the NCAA with a show cause. You got to tell the NCAA that you understand what you're doing and you will accept all of the stuff that comes with it. And that's kind of where the NBA was. The NBA wouldn't have stopped the Nets from hiring Ime Udoka, but the NBA definitely, said to them, "Hey, will you explain this to us for a minute?" And I think there were enough people that were saying, "Wait a minute, do you understand what you're doing here? Do you fully get it?" And that is just a reality when you're trying to hire something something so complex in this tight window. And so while they're looking at dealing with this potential show cause issue that I've decided to call it, you've got Jacque Vaughn sort of refreshing the team, and they're playing well. They didn't have 6 weeks to look over it. They had 6 days. And so they made the choice that they made. I understand why they made it. In the long haul, will it work better than Ime? I don't know, but I certainly understand why they made that choice yesterday.
Wendy, what does this mean? They hired Jacque Vaughn, right, obviously, and Jacque's been there the entire way with Kyrie. What does this mean, though, for Kyrie? Is Kyrie coming back? When is he coming back? Is Jacque Vaughn in the middle of it trying to convince him certain things? Like, where are we at with the Jacque Vaughn-Kyrie relationship?
Well, they kind of hired Jacque Vaughn. They gave him until the end of the year, which I guess you could argue that every NBA coach goes to the end of the year, but it's not like you're saying, okay, he's our guy, here's his 3 or 4 year contract. They're like, here's his deal to the end of the season. So he's still interim, quite frankly, until he is named, gets a contract. Yesterday, Sean Marks gave an update, and he said that he personally hadn't talked to Kyrie Irving since the suspension happened. I'm not saying that that's necessarily vital, but considering the Nets apparently gave him a checklist of things they wanted him to do before he would come out of the suspension, and he hasn't talked with the general manager, I don't know what that means. I do know that the meeting that Kyrie had with Adam Silver, the league basically decided that they were going to keep the details of that very private. So I don't have a good sense for how that meeting went. I do think that the Nets, if they're going to go where they need to go this year, need the talent of Kyrie Irving, but I also have seen them play dramatically better when Kyrie is not there. So the Nets are probably weighing all of that data as they're trying to figure out what's the best way to go forward.
Wendy, I mean, we both known Kyrie for a long time. You've covered this game for a long time. Realistically, and I know coming off the conversation with Adam Silver the other day, things could be different as it relates to Joe Tsai and the list of demands, the checklist that Kyrie was supposed to complete before he's able to play. But what do you think is the probability that Kyrie will comply to that checklist?
I mean, we could debate the terms of comply, I suppose. My thing with Kyrie, while this particular incident is extraordinarily sensitive and frustrating for so many, it's just another incident. And if they're able to come to an understanding with whether it's the checklist or something else, and Kyrie does come back to the team, there's going to be another incident at some point.
So why come back,
with
Wendy?
Something he does, on
this poses the question for Kyrie. I mean, it's something that it's a serious conversation that's occurring. If it's always going to be something for Joe Tsai and the Brooklyn Nets, and if Kyrie is feeling frustrated hearing reports that he hasn't returned text messages from Joe Tsai, the owner of the team, He hasn't returned text messages from Sean Marks, the GM of the team. Why would you even come back?
I got an answer for that, by the way, guys. Kyrie, Wendy, has learned from his past experience. He can wait him out, right? Like, think about what's happened with the Nets in the past. He's not going to get vaccinated. He just waits till the law changes or till the Nets cave. Remember, the Nets started caving before the law changed. Okay, he can go on road game, whatever it was.
I don't think you should go there because other players weren't vaccinated throughout the course of the season either.
But my point is, he has learned, the signals he's gotten from the Nets is if he waits them out, they'll cave.
Yeah, this is different, though.
What do you think, Wendy?
I agree with you, Max. The Nets have not shown that their organization has credibility in dealing with Kyrie Irving. That's just the truth. And I do think there's a couple of things at play here. You ask yourself, why did the Nets feel like they should go even consider hiring Ime Udoka? And the reason is because they've got so many chips on the table on this season. When you include the luxury tax, it's almost a $300 million payroll. They've got Kyrie on the last year of his contract. They've got Kevin Durant's trade request sitting on the shelf, getting ready to be pulled back out. They were trying to hold this thing together, and they thought, we got to find the best coach we possibly can, and that's why they almost did it. Why would you bring Kyrie Irving back in with his track record? Because for the same reasons, because there's so much skin and they've got in the game for this season. Now, they have paused from that by not going forward with Udoka and going with Jacque Vaughn. Does that mean that there's been a change in thinking? I guess we'll watch and find out. But the decisions that this team has made since the summer, when they sort of fought the Kyrie and Durant wars, was do everything you possibly can to try to squeeze some sort of miracle out of this season because they have the talent. So I'm going to default to that because that's what their actions have shown for months now.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.